They cut me loose like a worn-out tool. I'm James Holt, 50, Indianapolis, Indiana. For 12 years, I held Keystone Medical Solutions together as operations manager, until Laura Bennett, 38, fired me with a smirk. "We don't need old hands slowing us down." Comment, your city, ever been dumped at work? Hit like if it hurt. Indianapolis, 2025. Laura, fresh from a Chicago MBA, deemed me obsolete after the North Point merger. I'd built this company with her dad, George, who trusted me when his health faltered. No warnings, just a cold axe in her sleek office, her nails tapping impatiently. I cleared my desk. Young staff, trained by me from interns to parents, averted their eyes. Silence thick as fog. I packed 12 years into a box. Helen's photos, faded from her cancer fight, my kids' scribbled notes, a dented clipboard from late-night supply runs. Each item stung, relics of a life severed, yet my contract hid a shield. George, wary of poaching, added a clause. 2 years severance without cause, $250,000. Driving home, calm gripped me, a storm brewing within. Through my truck window, I saw the warehouse, equipment I'd salvaged, systems I'd crafted, staff I'd mentored, all teetering under Laura's inexperience. She missed the clause. Her arrogance was her flaw. I called Richard Kane, my lawyer friend, his voice eager. Helen, gone 6 years to cancer, would have grinned at this twist. My son in Seattle and daughter in Chicago thrived, but this was my war. I'd turn her mistake into my triumph, step by resolute step, a plan forming in the truck's hum. George Bennett's faith in me was my bedrock. I joined Keystone Medical Solutions 12 years ago at 38, post-layoff from a failing pharma firm, hands still raw from inventory. With a community college logistics degree, I brought grit. George saw it. "Degrees don't save lives," he'd growl, promoting me in 2 years after I fixed a supply bottleneck. We weren't bar pals, but respect bound us, tempered in late-night crisis calls and shared victories. When Helen's cancer hit 6 years ago, George adjusted my hours silently, his gruff, "Family first, James," a lifeline. He'd watch me sketch supply chains, nodding with pride. A year ago, Laura arrived. Leather portfolio, sharp perfume, preaching efficiency and data-driven jargon. George winced at her vendor cuts, undoing them quietly. "She'll learn," he'd mutter, leaning on my door, eyes weary. 3 months ago, he retired at 71, heart strained, passing her the reins with, "Keep the core team." His gaze avoided mine. I sensed the storm. Indianapolis's industrial hum was my pulse, where I raised kids after my dad left at 13, leaving mom to toil. George filled that void, guiding me through lean years. Laura's modernization stabbed that trust, dismantling a $25 million legacy from his garage start. I held to his faith until her blade fell, shattering my world. Laura's dismissal sparked a fire in my core. Next morning, I sat at my kitchen table, contract splayed with Richard Kane, his keen eyes probing. Section 12, paragraph 3, $250,000 severance airtight. George called, voice cracked. "What happened?" I explained Laura's outdated methods lie. He knew my 12 years, life-saving deliveries, spoke truth. "You're suing?" he asked. "Done," I said. Richard smirked. "We'll win or they'll pay extra." Paul Evans, our lead engineer, and Susan Reed, quality czar, both over 50, were axed too. I called them, voices shaking with rage over mortgages and kids' tuition. "Check contracts, call Richard," I urged, recalling their tireless work. Then I rang Michael Grant at Precision Med Supplies, who'd courted me for years. "Still in?" I asked. He was. My gut churned. This was personal. Helen's oak tree outside, scarred by storms, yet standing, echoed my will. No joy came from Grayson's stumbles. workers I knew, their families at stake, haunted me. But Laura's purge cracked her armor. Richard's assurance steadied me. Indianapolis's skyline glared through my window, a witness to my rising storm. I'd strike with precision, not fury. A plan she'd never foresee, forged in my resolve's quiet forge. Laura's hubris met my iron will. 3 days post-firing, I faced her and her lawyer Chris, a green kid, with Richard beside me, briefcase ready. Laura scoffed. "Ridiculous. 6 months severance? Take it." Richard pointed to the clause. 24 months, $250,000. Chris flinched, no cause logged. No warnings, just her caprice. "He's outdated," she snapped. Richard asked, "Proof?" Silence choked the room. George entered, frail but firm, cane thudding. "Pay the severance," he commanded Laura. She hissed, "I'll blacklist him." I replied, "Try it, industry will hear." His intervention held, but her venom lingered. Driving home, severance looming, I called Michael, plotting anew. George later revealed Laura's $2 million equipment sale for Miami buys. My strategy sharpened. Her reign wobbled. Indianapolis's silent streets veiled my storm. That night, by Helen's Oak, I sketched plans, its shadow a guide. Laura's new direction was sand. I'd build rock. Her threat stoked me. I'd honor George's legacy, each line a step toward victory. I turned her error into my legacy. 2 months after firing, Cornerstone Med Logistics launched with Michael Grant. The East Side warehouse pulsed. Paul engineered supply chains with expertise, Susan tested with precision, and Tom coded logistics with vigor. Laura's purge gutted Grayson. Delays mounted, quality failed, 3 clients threatened exits, a 4th sued. Susan, still in, leaked a memo. I secured a 60-day deal with Midwest Health, their team relieved. George called, voice broken, pleading for Grayson's salvation. Laura's liquidations, $2 million gear sold cheap, Miami buys with stolen funds, infuriated him. I agreed to meet the board, no promises, recalling workers' faces from shared breaks. Her cuts crippled quality. My team soared, filing patents, profits rising. Paul joined, dodging his NDA for consulting. We fused old wisdom with new ideas. Workers felt it, their morale a stark contrast to Grayson's collapse. Laura's axe forged my strength. Grayson's fall wasn't my aim. Jobs, families mattered, but her arrogance paved my rise. I hired 7 ex-Grayson stars, each a jab at her pride. Helen's Oak stood tall. My kids called, proud of my new path. I roamed the warehouse, touching machines I'd envisioned, their hum my anthem. This was my triumph, built from her ashes, brick by unyielding brick. Laura's downfall sealed my triumph's crown. 6 months post-firing, I stood in Grayson's boardroom as Cornerstone Med Logistics merged in. Laura, pale, faced her 37% revenue crash, delays, lost clients, quality disasters, a 5th client gone. George, cane steady, voted his 51% for me and Paul to lead, his eyes proud, yet tired. Her settlement exiled her to Miami. No farewell, just silence. A year later, the merged hub thrived. Paul designed logistics, Susan inspected with care, Tom trained coders, and Lisa optimized shipments. Profits hit 5-year peaks, retention held, 3 patents filed, a 4th nearing approval. George handed me the report. Best in years. His smile faint but real. Laura called from Miami, begging investment. He sent her back to learn the trade. She pleaded again, voice broken. I watched workers flourish, experience and innovation united, their cheers echoing off steel. Indianapolis's lights crowned me, a rise from ruin. Laura's betrayal, firing me, blacklisting threats, asset theft, built this empire. My 31 years with Helen, her memory in every breath, my kid's success, son in Seattle, daughter in Chicago, filled me with pride. This company, rooted in trust, eclipsed her fall. Workers waved, their faith my reward. Thanks, Laura, for the spark. I rise, she falls. This is my legacy, forged in steel, eternal.